Hey, welcome back to Equal Time. I'm in Missouri and I'm sweating. Danny, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just sitting up here on the balcony ready for today's game.
Awesome. So yeah, we shout out to Equal Time for sending me down to report on the field. We're here in the outskirts of St. Louis. It's humid. It's very humid. I'm sweating. I forgot about sweating. But the player, and honestly though, I mean, it really for the players, it's humid. It's humid in a way that Minnesota has not been yet. And so it will be curious to see how the teams do. The St. Louis Lions have a tent, and they did not provide a tent for Minnesota Aurora for the players.
No.
So I'm curious, Danny, what are your memories of playing in hot games, especially when it's like, oh, it just comes up? Like, it has not been very hot in Minnesota. What are your memories of those like hot, sticky games?
Well, goodness, I will tell you, I am the worst in heat, especially in humidity. Actually, in the semi of the 2013 national championship, so the semi game, we played in Kansas City, and I think they measured the temperature at the middle of the field, and it was like 128 degrees or something. Yeah, and I did not make it very long in that game. I will be totally honest. So these girls have a real challenge in front of them today. Luckily, we have, somebody from Hawaii, so I think maybe she's used to it. Maybe there's a couple players who are a little bit used to the heat, just having come from all over the place. But for the girls who are from here, it's definitely going to be a challenge for them.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Sarah Fuller coming from Texas is
Yes.
good now.
Yes.
And we have the Rap sisters are from the South too. But
yep.
So talk about one of the cool things for this team is like the way the schedule worked out. They were on a road trip together. I talked to Addie Simmons and Kelsey Kaufusi yesterday, and they've been on a road trip, since at least Thursday, maybe. And now, like, what does that mean, Danny, in terms of like new team getting to spend time together? Like, how valuable is that?
Oh man, the road trips are where you really become a team. Like, you'll start to see their play get better because they know each other off the field, and they've started to make friendships. They've started to bond, and that translates directly to on the field. So I think you'll start to see a lot more combination play today. You'll start to see players who really work well together, and hopefully a lot more communication. That's the other part. They start to feel more comfortable, like they can talk to each other on the field, and so I think you'll see a lot of improved communication across the field.
Yeah. Well, and what were when you were playing like in college, say, or when you played, I mean, in NWSL, all of them were really long road trips. But like, did you have favorite road trips in college? Because I know, it's like sometimes you're playing in a really small town and you get to visit different places, or you get to, you're going to the ocean or whatever. Like, what were your favorite away trips?
Yeah, oh man, road trips are the best. They were always so fun. But I think my favorite one year in college, we went to, we played like San Francisco maybe, or I don't remember who it was. We went somewhere in California, and then we took a little road trip and we went to Disneyland. So that was a fun little side trip as a team. But I think also, as a professional, those are a lot more serious because you don't get to get out and do a ton of fun things. But going to like New Jersey was always fun because you could go walk to New York City or something, but you didn't get it wasn't the same as like going to Disneyland.
Right. I saw they went to the Arch. We were reposting some Instagram content.
Yep.
I know Sarah Fuller posted and some others.
Yeah.
So they got to go to the Arch and do some of that stuff. They've been here for a couple of days. They trained out here. We're here at it's the Tony Glavin Soccer Complex. When I got here, Tony Glavin himself was mowing the field. It seems like it's a one-man show around here.
Yeah.
But it's a great little pitch, and they were practicing out here. Kind of had vibes. Do you remember Big Green, Danny? Did you see that movie?
Oh my gosh, I love that movie.
So yeah.
Mark, is it grass field?
It's grass, yeah, and
okay.
It's nice. It's well trimmed. I mean, he literally was cutting it as I walked up again. Good. And I think there's a little bit of water on it. I don't know if it was rainy yesterday, but it's definitely, there's kind of like a give to it. So that actually, I don't know how that'll impact them playing on it, but there's literally an old football score board, just like Big Green. And then there's a soccer field that I'm looking at right across that is fully grown in with old goals. And so it's actually we're here in the suburbs, but it feels almost a little country. So it's kind of funny. I don't know.
That's great. That's like perfect playing conditions for them, because if it is grass, and the grass, even if it is a little bit longer, but it's not moist, because of the humidity and the heat, the ball actually will be really slow. So it's nice that there's a little bit of moisture. It's going to speed up the game. Otherwise, it can get, sometimes that game can get really, really slow, and it's actually a toll on your body too, because your cleats don't move as easily on the grass. So, it gets a lot more tiring quickly.
Right. No, I think Aurora, I am sure the coaches are thinking, St. Louis has not done great so far. They lost to Caw Valley, and you can only take so much from doing transitive things like that, but they lost to Caw Valley, and Aurora looked quite confident and composed against Caw, and especially, they were finding offense. So I'm wondering, like, for you, I'm sure they'd want to be thinking, if you're the coach, you want to try and get a lead out so you could rotate, because Nicole has not been rotating heavily or that early. But for you in the coach's brain, what would you be thinking in terms of trying to keep the squad balanced in the second game of the weekend?
100%. I would say energy is going to be the first thing that you're thinking about. Not only is it hot, it's a middle of the day game, it's a Sunday game. All of those things are harder to get up for, especially when it's your second game of the week. Like, they're already tired. And it's not like there's external motivation. You're not playing under the lights. You're not playing in front of a big fan base, So, energy is going to be number one. I would tell them score as early as we can, and then we can score again. Like, if you can, score as many as you can, but score early, and then we can settle into the game as with already have a 1-goal up lead. Because the longer that this game draws on with a 0-0, the harder it's going to be to score because you're already tired. There's not a lot of momentum. It's not like your energy's building throughout the game. This is going to be one where the energy's leaving throughout the game.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, I would think, and when we get in shade, we're under shade now, and the wind comes up, it feels okay, but it's like, I'm not running. I'm staying still.
Yeah.
And so I'd be curious to see if they get breaks in, because that would probably be nice, honestly. Yeah. But talk about what we saw on Thursday. We saw a win, got the first ever win, got a couple goals, and it was fun to watch because after the first 10 or 15 minutes, they kind of found some rhythm, and they were doing a lot of getting behind, the defensive line and kind of getting through balls. But, talk about your impressions from that and kind of how you think, they could grow into this third game and get a second win on the road.
For sure. I definitely think that there's some play that's starting to show is like, this is going to be Aurora style. It's definitely more possession oriented. Don't force the ball. Like, let's play through the middle, find the width, and then try to get in behind it, which is really nice. It's very nice soccer to watch. I don't feel like we've been able to capitalize on those moments that have been really beautiful moments of soccer. Most of the goals have come more from like scrappy, bouncers, but in saying that, they're creating the opportunity by playing good soccer to get there, so for me, I would like to see today them actually make some moments from the good, to score from the moments that they're creating, and show like a full sort of calibration of their play build up, ending in an actual goal. So that would be something that I would like to see start to translate. Obviously, they have to, because there's not that much time in this season. They have to make it happen really quickly. So even though this is the third game, it's not like we have a ton of time to keep building on. So I would say, now's the time where we need to start putting it all together.
Right. Well, and the thing about Aurora kind of setting their stage of setting the pin out there as like, we're the team that has 5,000 fans, Rochester called them the $1 million team, which I love. It's kind of like a roast like that. So shout out to Rochester United from WPSL. They scrimmaged them before the first week, and they said played the $1 million team, which I love. And I'm using it now.
Yes, we are definitely taking that.
But it's, the expectations come. So really, I know that the people in Aurora, it's not that they just want to have they want to develop the players, want to this, but they want to win. They want to make the playoffs. Yeah. Only one team from the division makes the playoffs. And so I heard from the team recently, there were concerns about previously they were not going to be able to host a playoff game at TCO because of Vikings obligations. And so I heard from the team now that that's changed. And so if they are in the position to host it, then they're able to. And can you imagine that? So that honestly, the motivation could not be bigger. And also, quite frankly, the league probably would like to see them in the playoffs.
100%. Yes, 100%. I know in the NWSL, after the second year, so after 2013, Portland talked about, making a bid for the championship game, because the first year it was really whoever had the home advantage was going to be where it was hosted. So we flew to Rochester, New York. then the second year we were like, no, this needs to be at Portland so everybody can see what NWSL is bringing, the amount of fans, the energy behind it. And that made a huge difference. But then it made, it gave them extra incentive to like want to be there. Right. And then everybody benefited from it. So I think 100%. I hope that gives a lot of motivation to the players and to Nicole and to everybody at the staff to say, we want to show what we have here because it's something special.
Yeah, we're top after that last win. Aurora's tied. It's 2 games in, but they're tied top of the table. Green Bay Glory is also doing well, so it isn't. The 2 independent teams, so to speak, are so far doing the best, and it's exciting to see from Green Bay. They had Kitaru was the player when we were playing at home. She was number 10, and she was the one constantly driving through, and she was almost getting chances. And in their last game, she bagged 2 goals, and they got a win. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the season goes because it ends with 2 away games at Green Bay. Yes. So it should turn out really exciting because even if it's not dead close, those 2 games with a 6-point swing mean that it's going to be dramatic at the end. So we know that.
Yes, which is why games like today become even more important in the long run. You need 3 points from today because at the end of the season, you don't want to have to bank on, well, we have to win this game, otherwise we're going to be playing away or we're not going to make it through. Today is where those points are really, really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've seen a couple of Aurora parents already. So at halftime, what I'm going to do, because I want to celebrate the parents who come, we're going to go at halftime and get some player parent interviews or family interviews. Nice. Since we're here. But yeah, and before we log off, I want to give a shout out to some of the WPSL squads. Sioux Falls City hosted their first ever home game, and that went great. They had a great attendance. You can see if you follow their page, they got tons of coverage from their regional sports network. Just so exciting to see Sioux Falls is getting that attention, and they got the win. I love that. They're an exciting team. And Green Bay had their opener this weekend as well. So really cool to see. And both of them, especially like Green Bay has a cool little stadium, and this is a nice soccer field, but any of the stadiums, a lot of them are, football or whatever. And Green Bay's, I think, is just a soccer pit. So that's going to be really fun to see.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I'm going to get highlights. Hopefully my phone doesn't.
Please do. Well, I'll be looking forward to them.
Let's see if we can get some shot of the field.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
There we go. So Aurora's on the far side. We'll see if we can get some pregame images for you guys. Dani, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me. Good luck today.
Let's get a dub.